how are you doing, you two little daredevils, to bring such subjects to life for everybody?
You know, we're in our superhero costumes over here. The cheaters and backstabbers superheroes. We're doing great.
You've got a heck of a subject here that I know that people are going to do what I call sneak listening. They're going to sneak in and listen to it, but they're not going to talk about what they took in.
Ooh, I like that. Sneaky.
And the reason why is because we've either cheated or we've thought about cheating. Everybody can relate with these subjects.
Amen. Look at you are proud. Arrow, I think you're honest, because so many people are like, I could never. And I'm like, oh, could you never? Have you never told a lie in your life?
Have you never cheated on Uno?
You never cheated on Uno. I got caught cheating on Uno on a church trip.
Oh, God.
I was sitting on some of the wild cards.
Where did the idea come from to create the podcast Cheaters and Backstabbers? Because, I mean, it's one of those subjects that it's taboo, but it's not taboo. And you guys do it in a way that's very tasteful.
Thank you. We really like to think of ourselves as quite tasteful, quite high class. We're not trying to do anything to embarrass our family members, but also we just want to remind people that no one's above it, and nobody is above being perfect and always having class. And that's actually classy to admit it. You know, I think it's like we hear the craziest things in our home lives. And what do you say at the table? Pass the butter, pass the salt, pass the pepper. You know, somebody did something, somebody's husband just left them for the kid's school teacher. Pass the salt, please.
Wow. I've always believed that television and movies are the ones that inspire people to take a chance, because you see it going on TV, and in 25 minutes, everybody is laughing and they're all lovable again. And yet that experience has already made the damage.
I think before television, we had stories, you know, and oral stories. And I love that people, I mean, in my life, at least, I grew up super conservative Christian in rural Texas. You know, we would be told, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And I got older and was like, everyone who told me not to do these things were doing all these crazy, horrible things. And I'd like to name them by name on my podcast. And no, but I like that some people can say, like, I made a mistake, or someone else made a mistake. I don't think they're the worst person in the world that deserves to die. In fact, I've gone on living, you know, that's a whole different podcast, Snapped, which one of our producers has worked on. But yeah, I think we want to show stories of growth and being able to laugh at the idiotic motivations, because that's the other thing, is no villain thinks they're a villain. They all have motivations to excuse their behavior.
You know, one of the things that I always have to laugh about is that the poor personal trainers, they've got such a bad rap. I'm a personal trainer. Oh, you cheat on people? Oh, they always get a bad rap.
And why do you think that is, Arrow? Because
they're up close and personal working out, and sometimes they can take it too far. I've seen those TV shows.
It's a trope. So do you have a hot body? Do you have like a trainer body?
No. Maybe at one time during my Taekwondo days, but no.
So do you believe those who cannot do teach?
I do. And here's, I think it's a power complex, because being in martial arts, one of the things that I ran into a couple of times with my masters and sabanims was that they were the cheaters because they had the power over people.
Mm-hmm. The power dynamic. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm dating someone who is a personal trainer and said that he gained weight because he didn't like to be objectified. So maybe that's why you did it, Arrow.
Just so that people don't think?
So he was cheating on his diet. Maybe you're cheating on your diet. What's your favorite food? No.
Now, if I'm cheating on anything, I'm cheating on the fact that my creativity is out of control, and I do everything possible to get that thing under control. So I have to cheat on other things so I can calm that monster down.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Like what?
you guys are creative. Come on, it hits you any place, anytime. Your next thought, your next show, and you can't turn that thing off.
So you're supposed to be at work right now. You're hosting, these podcast people, and you're actually writing down your own ideas. Is that what you're telling us?
Absolutely, 24/7.
He's not even listening to us.
This is AI. This is AI.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
I mean, when you've got a story that really, like with Black Rose. I mean, we're talking about. This is the thing that I've always wondered about. Men or women go into a relationship knowing the person they're going to be with is a cheater, and yet they still go into it. I mean, are they trying to fix them?
Yes,
they are.
Yeah, I think that's big, especially now. People who don't go to therapy, or people who haven't healed their own stuff, like they're looking for something that they've lacked. I think, whether it be in childhood or in past relationships, you go into wanting to help people, but I feel like we attract who we are in that moment, and maybe just a little something about Black Rose was like, if I can't fix myself, I need to fix this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a doctor, but today I am.
For me, when she taught us this really great term, which was a hobosexual. And I don't know if that is okay to say, but it is like someone who is looking for a home and a meal, and that's why they're dating. And I just thought, oh my gosh, especially in New York, you will meet people who have these unhoused situations, and they're just couch crashing, and they're just, living every day by the fullest. And I'm like, oh, wait, was I that at one point? So sometimes I listen to stories, I'm like, and I try not to incriminate myself, but I'm like, wait, have I gone on a date because I'm like, would love a steak right now? No, it's not about us. The show isn't about us. We like to put other people on the spot, and Black Rose is one of those amazing examples of resilience. And we have some upcoming episodes that have, musicians who've written songs about what they've been through. And I think that's what I really love, is that everyone has turned something that could be a negative into a positive that we speak to. I
know that with musicians, I call that hidden speak. When they write those songs about relationships that they've had, and they don't want to identify who it was with, they'll use hidden speak as a different way of writing, so that they know the story, but somebody who knows them won't understand the story. And that's a new vocabulary term for us, hidden speak? I call it hidden speak. And so I'm very guilty of hidden speak when it comes to my writing, because there are things that I don't want to deal with. And, I live by the winning is a choice. And if I'm being negative in my daily writing, I can use hidden speak to get me back to a positive.
I love that.
I told you, it's an addiction to creativity. I'm cheating on it every day.
That's right. And I'm also going to say, this is why whenever someone's like a little too convoluted about something and they don't fess up to it themselves, and they're like, oh, a friend. I'm like, wink, wink, a friend arrow. Sure. You're using hidden speak. See, these are the clues we're on to, right? It's like, if they know this story so well, why do they know it so well? I think it's more about poking holes into everything, always questioning it, not knowing an answer, but following that instinct of, what is the story here, Arrow? What is this creative thing that you're cheating on? Is this thing a person? Is your imagination? Is it like do you think of your creativity as an imaginary friend?
Of course.
I see.
Yeah, I do.
There's in your photo, you're hugging something. What is that?
That's a coup stick. Coup stick's a Native American spirituality. That is, I can walk up to my enemy, touch them with that coup stick, and I've shown confidence and courage and forgiveness.
Oh, that's beautiful. I thought it looked a little bit like one of those dolls, that people get obsessed with. But your description was so much more beautiful.
When you go into a conversation, especially with these private investigators, how do you show prep for things like this? Because they're going to bring something that you didn't expect.
Well, we spend extensive time. I think before this podcast, we really thought we were professional private investigators, and we thought we were equipped to be lawyers, and we thought that we were equipped to be relationship experts. I think we can't wait to get all these honorary degrees once the podcast has been on for 50 years. And until then, we're students of the world. Shadi and I are always like you. We always have a pen and paper. We're always writing stuff down. We're always trying to learn. And for us, it's like I think we both harbor, I don't want to speak for you, but don't you think we could really be private investigators, Shadi?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I definitely have a degree in it. My friends used to call me SBI, and the acronym is Shadi Be Knowing, or Shadi Be Investigating, because like my friends would be like, look, I think my man is at this club. Can you help me out? And I'd be like, I'm on it. And I'll be on my laptop and then on Instagram. I was like, yup, they're there. Here they are. And they'd be like, yo, you're pretty good. So I think I do have experience. And
you have the trench coat. You have a trench coat and the hat.
I mean, you've seen my trench coats and my hats, my fedora hats and my glasses. You never know. I might be behind you watching.
And we also know the tricks people use. Like someone was saying, if they're cheating, they wear an outfit from the 90s so that they can say, that's an old picture. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? They make sure they're like, no. So people still wear FUBU.
Oh, do they?
For us, by us.
One of the things that I've studied and I write about is the fact that people who do the investigating with and can identify what is happening with cheating or backstabbing, they've either lived it or they feel like they're going through it. Therefore, their awareness level is on super high.
Self-healing prophecy. I mean, that's a lot of therapists go into the field to try to heal themselves. Yep. And I agree with that. I think that's a very, very sharp observation. And I think the same goes for advice. Like whenever we're trying to give advice to our listeners or to each other or our guests, I think we're trying to give advice to ourselves. And that's what's fascinating about the human psyche and about stories is even though we're not trained, licensed professionals, we are comedians who take our craft seriously. Mm-hmm. A part of that is reflecting real world experiences. And so we've definitely had some guests want to trump things up, but we want to keep people as grounded as possible because that's what I think is the funniest.
Mm-hmm. But see, that's relating with people because comedy can't happen unless you relate with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable in listening to your podcast is because you there are times I feel happy about it. Other times I feel uncomfortable. Other times I'm going, oh, really? Someone I know is doing this.
See? You're welcome.
Yeah. Where's your tip jar so I can drop something in it real fast?
We need to tip you. Look, we give money to people who say nice things about us. I'm kidding. There's no money exchange. But I will say we are so excited to keep getting into this series because as we get our flow, we're starting to figure out that sweet spot, how to really get the most out of our guests, how to really give our audiences a piece of us because we're hearing great feedback from people and getting a lot of people who want to come on the show or send in questions. And so we invite our guests and listeners to engage with us, share with us their learnings or what they've learned about their own relationship. For instance, like you just said, Arrow, it's like, I think that is our goal is that people learn not to go through what our guests have been through or what we've been through.
Would you say that cheating and backstabbing is an addiction to excitement and the agony of defeat?
I would say so. I think a lot, I mean, from the stories I've heard, like let's say some friends of mine, they'll tell me, oh, I'm like in the mood to cheat. And I'm like, that's weird. It's not like, oh, I'm in the mood to go buy.
I'm in the mood to cheat.
Yeah. She was like, oh, I'm so bored. I just want to go cheat. And I was like, that's messed up. Like, go read a book or do something else other than, want. She was like, I like the feeling. I like the feeling of, him not knowing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's secrecy. And I think, for me, super red flag, obviously, but like, how can you get those cookies off without hurting someone? Mm-hmm. How can you feel like you are, doing something like maybe just say, this is my time to do me and be with the girls. And like, you don't have to know. Maybe she's looking for mystery in her life. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't try to solve these problems, but like, if somebody is always looking for that excitement, I'm like, what can you heal? And that's where we bring in and later on, and we go through with relationship experts to say like, here's our take. I think, yeah, she is totally addicted to that excitement, but like, what does a real relationship expert think?
Mm-hmm. I would love to hear a show with a 75 or even a 7-year-old man or woman who says, look, mm-hmm. before I transition, before I pass away, I need to talk about that moment when I was in my 20s and 30s, because you're talking about healing. I think there's a lot of older people that are grumpy old men because they did it and they don't know how to forgive themselves.
Oh, wow. Sure. Yeah. If you know any, send them our way. First of all, 70 better not be on their way out. I'm looking for 90-year-olds who are with it. Okay. 70 is the new 50.
Yes.
But we definitely try to have a diverse, group of guests on all different ages. We've had someone, in their 60s, someone in their 20s. We need a 70, 80-year-old, because I do think that they know how to make the bones in their closet, the skeletons in their closet dance.
Yeah. Where can people go to find out more about you guys, as well as finding out more about this podcast? Because this is a life-changing podcast, and I'm hoping that it creates the kind of conversation where people can come together and say, okay, I was one of them. I was either a victim or I was. Wait, is it if it takes two to cheat, aren't you both victims?
Ooh, interesting question. We like to not use that victim word.
Okay.
But survivors, growers.
Okay.
Wow.
Where can people go to find out more about you?
We are on iHeartRadio podcasts, and we have Instagram, YouTube, all of those things. So Cheaters and Backstabbers, and I'm Kate Robards.
I'm Shari Diaz.
Yeah. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. I mean, my God, we're just barely scratching the dang surface here.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for having us, Arrow. We love that idea. I like the name Arrow because it's like Cupid, striking your arrow.
Well, you guys be brilliant today, okay?
You too. Thank you so much and have a great one.